Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's Kevin Forte, and today we are going to be starting a little mini series today, taking a look at my predictions for the teams I think that either missed the playoffs last year and are making the playoffs this year, or teams nobody's talking about that I think could break out. And I'm picking one team in each division, and today we are starting off in the Atlantic Division, and I did this in my division predictions video where I had this team who missed the playoffs last year actually getting home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs, and that is the Ottawa Senators. So the Ottawa Senators are kind of a team right now that I think is on the rise. If you're looking at buying stock for the next 2 or 3 years on an NHL franchise, there are few better than the Ottawa Senators. This is a team that I think you have the potential of having a 50-goal scorer on this team, and it's not Brady Tkachuk. It could potentially be Tim Stützle. He had 39 goals last season in 78 games, I think. Something like that. I think Tim Stützle is due for potentially getting a 50-goal season at just 21 or 22 years old. I think the Ottawa Senators are going to do some special things this year. And when you look at this team on the back end as well, a lot of talent on this blue line. And I think that as you're seeing guys like Thomas Chabot coming to their form, Artem Zub had a really good season. Jacob Chychrun, if he could stay healthy, I think could be one of the better defensemen in the Atlantic Division, let alone just the Ottawa Senators, but he's got to stay healthy. We're going to see a lot of Jake Sanderson, Jacob Bernard-Docker. These are guys that the Ottawa Senators have been waiting to see develop now. And, even if guys like Hamonic or Brandstrom play a little bit here or there, that's a good thing. Because I think if you see the development of Sanderson, Jacob Bernard-Docker, Lassie Thompson, those guys won't necessarily matter as much. Up front, there's a couple guys I have my eye on. Robbie Yorventi, Tyler Boucher, Ridley Gregg are a few up front to watch for. And I'm in the conversation of saying Ridley Gregg could potentially be in the Calder conversation. How far into that conversation does he go? I don't know. But I think he'll be in that conversation by the end of the season. You look at some of the guys, like I said, Tim Stützle, who is the guy in Ottawa, no doubt about that. You've got Brady Tkachuk, you've got Claude Giroux coming back, Vladimir Tarasenko. There's some really good veterans on this team as well. Everybody seems to forget that. Tarasenko and Giroux are still there. You look at some of the center depth, you've got Dominic Kubalik, Drake Batherson. You have some of those guys that are pain in the ass to play against, Zach McEwen, Parker Kelly. Those guys are going to come in and play a little bit. Once they lock up Shane Pinto, which I expect to be happening very soon, it might even push someone out of the lineup, whether that's a Matthew Joseph or someone like that. I think the Ottawa Senators could even get better before training camp. Igor Sokolov, got to lock him up as well. So once they lock up Pinto and Sokolov, this team's going to be even better than they already are. And the one question I have about the Ottawa Senators is the goaltending, because I really want to believe in Anton Forsberg and Jonas Korpisalo. Korpisalo's numbers down the stretch with the Los Angeles Kings were really good. And even last season, just in Columbus in general, had he been on a better team than the Blue Jackets, he still had a .913 save percentage last year with Columbus. He had a .921 save percentage with the Kings in 11 games. But ultimately, I think the conversation will say, well, the Los Angeles Kings have a good defensive structure, and that's why Korpisalo's numbers were so good. Maybe, maybe not. I think a lot of people are also looking at his contract. That's a big-ticket contract. That's a 5-year deal, $4 million per season for a goalie. That's been pretty good. So there's some questions about that. Anton Forsberg has had reconstructive surgery on both of his knees. You kind of worry about that. So this is a team that has potential. And if everyone stays healthy and can do their thing, they're going to start the season right now on LTIR. They've got Josh Norris and Forsberg. That's kind of already, you're looking at potentially, you're going to be bringing up Mads Søgaard and Kevin Mandolese. It's not a bad thing, but I don't think Søgaard's ready for the NHL yet. So, I think the Ottawa Senators, definitely there's reason to believe this team could plummet and not get where they want to go. But I think DJ Smith, if he can round out that defensive structure, he's got the talent there. The goalies can stay healthy, and Jacob Chychrun, I think the Ottawa Senators are going to be the breakout team in the Atlantic Division. And, as crazy as it is, I had them finishing second in the division, playing the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round of the playoffs with 110 points. Is that a bit of a stretch? Maybe. But I think the Senators have the potential here to do something really special. I think that this is the year they've been kind of waiting for. There's a lot of pressure on TJ Smith going into this year. They got to make the playoffs. And I think they'll be able to do that this season. Pierre Dorion has taken a lot of heat, including from myself, on the whole Eugene Melnyk trading Stone and Carlson and this and that. But since then, rest his soul to Eugene Melnyk. But Pierre Dorion's been able to actually make the moves that he needs to make and wants to make. And we're starting to see what he is actually capable of as a GM. And the Ottawa Senators are rounding third heading home to not only making the playoffs, but potentially becoming a cup contender. And I think that everyone's argument will say, well, they don't have that big defenseman. They have three guys that could be that defenseman. And if one of them breaks into that, whether it's Jake Sanderson, Thomas Chabot, or Jacob Chychrun, the sky is the limit for the Ottawa Senators. And I think that 110 points, we might be looking back and saying, yeah, Kevin was right about that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of the Ottawa Senators? Do you think they will have this season of a lifetime, or season we've been waiting for a long time in Ottawa? Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Guys, stay tuned for our first power rankings that will be coming out later this month. I'm super excited as we're getting ready for the regular season. I'm going to be going from number 32 to number 1 in a weekly power ranking. So stay tuned for that. Really looking forward to that, and I think you guys are really going to like that. So guys, stay tuned for that. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.